right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and warmest greetings from University of Malaya and Living Lab Secretariat, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So hello everyone. Hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Yes?
Yes.
Great. All right.
Yes.
It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to today's third series of the Sustainability Webinar Series organized by UM Sustainability Living Lab Secretariat. Entitled on this third series, we have Dr. Sukumaran Manikam, which is the Principal Coordinator of UM Living Lab, the Rimba Project. The title of this third series of this webinar will be the Rimba Project, Biodiversity Conservation by Reconciling Cities and Nature. So before I hand over the session to our speaker of the day, I have a few housekeeping items to cover. Just the first one, yeah, you guys already do it. Thank you. We seek your kind cooperation to mute your audio. And then Q&A session will be held around 20 minutes after the presentation by the speaker. Kindly pose your question directly to the speaker, which is Dr. Sukumaran, or you can type your questions by using the chat feature located on your right-hand side of this Google Meet platform. For our documentation purposes, this webinar session will be recorded, and it is also live streaming at the moment. And before we proceed with the webinar, we would like to invite all of you to switch on your camera. We would like to have a quick group photo. Karen, can we have your, yeah. Okay, everyone? Ready? Put your best smile, yeah? Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Wait, yeah. Another, 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you. Okay, just a little bit of the synopsis of this webinar. Surrounded by winding highways and dense development stands University of Malaya, a relatively green campus with clusters of buildings spread throughout the undulating campus landscape. Within the campus ground lies a national heritage site known as the Rimba Ilmu Botanic Garden, a 60 hectares tropical botanical garden. And this is where the Rimba Project is based. Founded in 2014, the Rimba Project is a campus sustainability effort focusing on campus greening and biodiversity conservation. So universities are playing a significant role in the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. So before I hand it over to the speaker, let me introduce Dr. Sukumaran. Dr. Sukumaran is the Principal Academic Researcher of the Rimba Project and Senior Lecturer at the Institute of Biological Sciences in the Faculty of Science, University of Malaya. His area of expertise include applied sciences and technologies and botany. He currently serves as Head Coordinator of Ecology and Biodiversity Program, ECOPS, at Institute of Biological Sciences, Faculty of Science, University of Malaya. So without further delay, I will hand it over to the speaker of the day. Dr. Sukumaran, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Hope you can hear me. Just testing the mic. Can everybody hear me? Yes, okay. Because I can't see myself here on this screen. I hope my camera is on and everybody can see me. My name is, as Farli is just introduced, I am Sugu. I am the senior lecturer in the University of Malaya Institute of Biological Sciences, Faculty of Science. Okay, so he has already introduced me, and I'll just go ahead and present this slide. The slides that I have. What I will do is that for the first, I don't know how fast or how slow I'm going to be. I'm going to, I think for around the next 30 minutes, I will present what we have done for the last 6 years or so. And then what I'll do is I'll invite some of the personnel of the Rimba Project and to say a few words about what they have done, because they are the people on the ground, and they know a lot more than I do, I would think. So that's how I would conduct this session. So hopefully within the hour or less than that, we will conclude, and then we'll open the floor to question and answer sessions. Okay, let me just bring up the slides now. Right. So can this be seen now? Can you guys see the slides?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right. Fadlis have already introduced me. This is the first slide. And we are known as the Rimba Project, and we go by the title Biodiversity Conservation by Reconciling Cities in Nature. And for those who are from outside, we are actually situated in University of Malaya. So this all of these personnel are from University of Malaya. And I want to bring up this slide. I'm sure it's a surprise for the personnel themselves, because I included this in the last minute. And I think some of them are here, which I will invite them at the end of this talk to say a few things. I want to give full credit to all these people here who have conducted the Rimba Project together with me all these years. Many of the projects or many of the things that they do, or I would say almost all that they do is thought of by them, constructed by them, and then carried out in the ground by them. I of course oversee and supervise things, but I would not take any sort of credit, because most of the things are done by them. So these are all talented young people who've got various kinds of abilities, and I'm so thankful that they are around to help me carry out this project. So here, very quickly, Miss Vanessa Ting is she's by training a pharmacist, all right, and Miss Nurul Fitra American, I think she's here. We'll hear talk later on. She's a biochemist. Mr. Terry here, although he's not been he's never been on the payroll of the Rimba Project, but I think he's assisted us along the way in many ways. And of course, Benjamin Ong here, been here for a number of years with me. Kyron, also present today. Benjamin Ong is also present today, I think. Kyron, has been, I would call Kyron and Siti Shuhada here as the second generation personnel, and this group of people here will be the first generation people. So you would expect these two people are much younger than these people. Sorry guys, I sort of like exposed your age here. So Shuhada is the current personnel, and she's assisted me in many different ways and so on. Okay, so right, so just an introduction, what we do and who are we. We were founded in 2014, so we're entering our 7th year. We are known as the Rimba Project. Sometimes we are also called Rimba, and the word Rimba is somewhat confusing because we also have nearby, we can find a Rimba Cafe. So we tend to use the word Rimba Project better. So we perceive ourselves and call ourselves as the Rimba Project. And we continue to champion awareness, appreciation of urban biodiversity, as well as biodiversity conservation, landscape management as part of Sustainability and Living Lab Secretariat. So our objectives are as listed: integrating campus greening, conservation, landscape management, capacity building for citizen science and conservation, supporting nature and outreach activity throughout the campus of University of Malaya, especially in a place what we call as Rimba Ilmu Botanic Garden. So we can look at this as a scenario we can look at in Malaysia. We are in a tropical zone, and we are listed as one of the 17 mega biodiversity countries. But when you think about it, most of Malaysians, or 3/4 of Malaysians live in urban areas. We are far away somewhat from the tropical, intact tropical forest itself. So we are living in an area, most of us, that is, living in an area where it is somewhat secondary forest, or we are sort of like dividing our time and going to these areas which are somewhat degraded and so on. So as time goes by, even primary forests are being developed, in inverted commas, developed, are being logged or being converted into other lands, as you all know. So in time, primary forests will become a rare item. So what we will end up with is all this secondary forest landscape we need to turn attention to more, and we are doing that currently. So I think everybody would agree with me that we are close to nature. Our quality of life in urban areas can be better. Yeah, I think there were some articles recently that Malaysians we have a lot of mental illness. Yeah? So maybe perhaps one of the ways that we can actually counter the progress of mental illness is people coming close contact to nature. And what nature that we have in the city is what we need to appreciate and so on. So as a living lab within University of Malaya, we contribute to the General Sustainability Development Goals. As for those who are not aware, that Sustainability Development Goals is a set of goals set by United Nations, and they have 17 goals, and these goals are set to be achieved in 2030, and there are many different ways they want to achieve it. Some of these is to get into zero poverty, get people zero hunger, so to speak, and so on. So we contribute to SDG 11 and SDG 15 directly. Of course, all these SDGs are interlinked in many ways. So our SDG 11 is sustainable cities and communities, and our SDG 15 is life on land. So we tend to think that we contribute here to these two SDGs. So here is in the yellow circle that you see in this slide is where we operate from in the campus of University of Malaya. So the yellow circle is part of the campus of the University of Malaya. It's part of the green area in University of Malaya. So that yellow circle, the green area that you see is the Rimba Ilmu Botanic Garden. So the Rimba Ilmu Botanic Garden has been around, or started in 1974. So it's been around for the last 46 years. So the that area is basically abandoned rubber plantation. And if any of you have been here, you'll understand what I'm trying to say is that if you go there, we have a collection of trees and plants. And so over the years, the last 46 years or so, people who have worked in Rimba Ilmu have sort of developed that area and created and planted a lot of things. Yeah. So the last estimate number of trees that is there is around 1,000 over species, 1,600 over species. And so in there you have a collection of medicinal plants, collection of palms, a collection of ferns, fruit trees, and we have the best collection of bamboos. And we have created somewhat trails that people can go around and appreciate. Also here, this slide, we like to just interestingly point out that that area is within the campus. That area that you see within the yellow circle is within the campus. So it is for now very well protected because the campus authorities are very careful about dealing with that area. So they want it to be kept aside for conservation and so on, which they have done for the last 46 years. In comparison, if you want to look at the one that is south to that circle, it's the Bukit Gasing, Bukit Kerinci Forest Complex, which is maybe as big or probably a bit larger than Rimba Ilmu. But it is, you can see, and in 2020, it is part of it has slowly been developed. Yeah, so I'm not sure how much of it is been properly protected, but you would see that that area is slowly eroding. So we are losing greenery in that sense. So in this picture, maybe it's about 2 to 3 kilometers square. You don't get that much of greenery, and this sort of these two large green areas can be said as something like a green lung for us. So as a Rimba project, how do we operate? You know, we can say that we can categorize ourselves as two ways of operating. You can say physical approach and non-physical approach. Of course, when we started off and we did things, we never thought about how we approach, as I'm presenting here, physical and non-physical. So when we put it on slide, we thought this is probably the best way of putting it so that it's easier for the public to understand. So physical approach, as the word physical, we try to do something that is direct contact with the participants that we have. So we did guided walks, we do tree initiatives, exhibition talks, seminars, symposium, workshops, and so on. We did some field trips to collect plants and so on, and then data collection, as well as consultation with interested parties who we share experience with. The non-physical approach, as you would expect, we have created education modules which contribute to the physical approach as well, something like guided walks. So we have some kind of modules that will help people who are conducting those guided walks. Or we have done publications that we have presented in the forms of poster, brochures, books. And along the way, we have done some MOUs and MOAs. What we have done and so on has been covered by radio, newspaper, online, and so on. So we also publish what we did in website and social media, as everybody does. We also do that. So here is what we have done from 2014 to 2020. It's a list of things that we do. Of course, I don't want to go one by one of what we did. What I can say is that if we can sort of categorize all that we've done into these three words. One is what we have done: nature awareness, we have done data collection, and we have done direct conservation related activities. So for example, if I'm allowed to go back and see if I pick UMCare's Earth Day in 2014. So what we did is that during the Earth Day, we've done a guided walk. So we went around and talked to people about what kind of trees we have, what kind of biodiversity that we have in campus, and that would fall into the category of nature awareness. So, and you can pick another one, say Section 12 Biodiversity Survey or Section 16 Biodiversity Survey, that will be data collection. So we went around Section 16, which is very close to the UM campus area. So we went there, which is all abandoned bungalows and so on. So we documented what biodiversity we can find, such as trees, birds, frogs, and so on. And those are the data collection that is documented, and we've created a document for that. and that will feed the university management when they want to further develop that area into, say, another building and so on. So they can incorporate all these items into the development. So sort of like add to the development plan in future. Also, we want to categorize other things like direct conservation related activities, such as we went into tree planting and so on. So here, here the next few slides, which are basically reflecting what we did from, basically highlighting what we did from 2014 to 2020. We did biodiversity surveys, as I've already mentioned. And somewhat surprising is that we found highlights, I would say. Yeah? So somewhat surprising, we found something that is people would think that would not exist in urban landscape. Like, for example, fireflies were breeding in some of the sites that we surveyed. And fireflies are known to be only breeding in certain areas which has got complete clean water. This we can conclude in a way that this little greenery that we have around in campus sort of creates a clean micro habitat. Yeah, so these animals here can survive. Yeah, so, and who would expect to find large trees like this at the bottom, at the right side of this slide? You know, true towering trees that we only think that is found in proper primary forests, but right in the middle of a city, you can still find these trees surviving. Yeah, so we have a development plan. All these could be included. So these are the data that we collected along the way, and we call this biodiversity surveys. And as with direct conservation related activities, we went around wherever we can. We collected seeds, we collected seedlings, and then we grew them up, what we call as a conservation nursery. I think Nurul Fitra was involved directly in this, could talk about it a little bit more later. So we also went around, tagged the trees and so on, so that would add to the nature awareness of what we have. So I guess if somebody reads about what is around, they'll tend to like it more. So, and we've done tree planting programs. We did tree mapping. We also donated saplings wherever we can. In the so in putting it in different words here, we can call that environmental education programs, capacity building, and community engagement. These are all awareness that we have done all these years. So nature education, we have done training. We have training people who, we have tried training people who can become nature guides. We have done creative nature programs where people pick out things from nature and do creative arts. You'll be surprised what are the interesting things they have come up with when they are provided the opportunity. Of course, here we have done guided walks, as I mentioned before, and I think along the years we have done guided walks collectively for thousands of people. Yeah, and right in the middle of this slide, the Rimba Project has contributed to the garden being recognized as a national heritage site. So Rimba Ilmu again is in the middle of the campus of University of Malaya. It's a 60-hectare facility, and right now it is considered as a national heritage. As of this year, it has already been recognized as a national heritage site. Yeah. One thing that we would like to highlight is that we participated in this, what we call a City Nature Challenge, and we call it KVCNC because we are in the Klang Valley, and this is a initiative. It's a worldwide initiative where people participate online for a period of time, and they go around documenting what they see in nature. So basically, you can go around and document a tree or an insect or anything that is alive, and you can post that online. And basically, it is an awareness campaign. Yeah. So, And we participated in that, and a lot of schools and students also participated together with us. So in the year that we participated in 2018 and 2019. So in the 2018, we were 4th in the world, as recognized here. We recognize about 25,000 different living things here. So yeah.
Sorry, I would like to request you to put it on full mode. I mean, full view of your presentation.
Is this one?
The one on your
yes, that's one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that right?
Okay. Have you clicked it?
Can you, if I toggle, can you see it?
At the moment, no.
Yeah. So that's why I did. I know I have an issue with that. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So when I want to move to the next slide, it doesn't reflect. I don't know why that happens. Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Maybe we can just continue. I just have a few more slides to go on. So we have done this City Nation challenge, which we also call through something called iNaturalist app. It's been downloaded into your phone, and you can participate in any part of the world. Yeah. So, and then what we have done is that we have done all these publications. Again, these are a few highlights that we have done. We've like this one, a selection of plants in Rimba Ilmu. We have done publication in some magazine, Roots, which is a magazine by BGCI, Botanical Garden Conservation International, does this. One of our past personnel published this book, which is called Backyard Before You. And Ben, I think you can elaborate that when you get the chance to speak. And BC has documented something about bats. So we also promote our activities through website, social media, and so on. And along the way, we have done a lot of networking. We have communicated with a lot of people, and I think what I can say this is that in future, this slide is going to become smaller and smaller to see. We can only grow from this slide and link up with as many people, as many like-minded organizations or people we can. All right, we want to communicate and share our experience and also learn from other people so that we can contribute or conduct this kind of activities. Yeah. So our work has been published or highlighted in media, such as this BFM. We have gone 3 times over there, and we have been also in all these local newspapers. We have been highlighted, Straits Times, Star. So we try to publicize what we do. I think it's important so that the public will pick up and the awareness will be a bit more better. One thing I want to say is although this is the last slide, it's not the least important. One thing I'd say, all these activities that we have done from 2014 to 2020 could not have been done because, if not for the support of the volunteers. So along the years, we have recruited a lot of volunteers, and most of these volunteers are student volunteers. And they, I think many of them enjoyed the experience. Many of them are from diverse background. All of them are diverse background. We have students from engineering faculty. We have students from, non-biology faculty, and they would come and participate in many of the things that we do, and we are happy. Yes. And I think Ben may have a bit of thing to say about this slide here. They share the experience of this not only in biodiversity, it goes beyond that. It can be cultural as well. Yeah. So maybe I'm a bit too fast, I'm not sure. So lastly, again, acknowledgement. I'd like to acknowledge here Dr. Zida, who's mooted this idea in 2014, approached us and come up with this idea. Dr. Zida has been helping us all this while until now. And then Dr. Nick Mariam, I'm not sure whether she's joining us here, but if she has joined us, it would be good. But if not, thank you, Dr. Nick, for for all your ideas and all your mentorship. She was the first person who was heading this sustainability program, and then right now it's being headed by Dr. Sumiani. Thank you for supporting for all that. And our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Prof. Dr. Nur Sada, also supported us. And in previous Deputy Vice Chancellor, who's the current Vice Chancellor of the USM, Dr. Faisal Rafiq, has been helping us, supported us all the way. Also, a special thank you to Mr. Afan and Ms. Siti Norasia, who are both of them are from the other Living Lab program, Water Warriors. They are from Water Warriors Living Lab project, and they've been assisting us in the ways that all these years, right? The ways I can't be more thankful for all that you have done, guys. Yeah. So also Institute of Biological Sciences and Faculty of Science have assisted us by allowing us to use the facilities and so on. So with that, this is my end of this slide. I'll say thank you, and we're not going to Q&A session at the moment. With then, I would like to invite who's going first? Maybe was it Fitra? I'll go back to the picture here. I like to invite Miss Nurul Fitra to share your experience, what you went through. Fitra?
Hello, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So good afternoon to everyone. I'm Fitra. I would say that I was the longest running project assistant for the Rimba Project. I worked for the Rimba Project for the past 5 years, and this year I started with my new job. With the Rimba Project, I think throughout the 5 years experience, when we started off, it was just like a project that started by the alumni of the university, Ben, Terry, and also Van. We started this project as a flagship to the Living Labs, and it was quite a journey for all of us, I think. And like every year, we learn to do different things. With the Rimba Project, you need to be very flexible and
Are you still there, Fit? Perhaps we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, maybe you can. Was it Shu again? Shu, is it you who's going to present? Or is it Kyra?
Yeah, I can present. No
Sure.
worries.
Yep.
Fit. We do magic tricks sometimes once a while, so Fit will appear very soon. Hi everyone. My name is Shuhada. Normally people will call me Shula, and I'm currently the project officer for the Rimba Project. Well, I started volunteering with the project. If Fit says that she's the longest running project assistant, then I think so. I'm the longest running student volunteer previously. So I started volunteering with the project back in 2014 during my first year with my batchmate. Sofwan is also here. I saw him just now in the chat. At that time we were all first years lah, freshmen. Semua project also mau join, and everyone was like utilizing WhatsApp to promote their activities or college activities projects. And then I received like this forwarded text on Biodiversity Week, volunteers needed for Biodiversity Week by the Rimba Project. And at that moment, I was like, no matter what, I really want to join like a nature, some sort of a nature club in because I've never really experienced joining a nature group or something like that lah during my high school and matriculation. So yeah, then I managed to join lah, and then began my adventures with Rimba Project from 2014 up until now 2020. I could go on about all the wonderful things I've learned from the project. Thinking back about it, I guess part of who I am now is kind of shaped by the project. I got my first camera, DSLR, just to snap photos of animals for the project. And slowly from there, I started brushing up my photography skills because we do all these biodiversity surveys. We need to document wildlife. So we do it by taking photograph of the animals lah. So I learned from Ben, from Kyron, from Fit also, who are photographers. And back then during my first year, it was such an eye-opening moment because we learned that there was so much wildlife in the city. Before that, I've only like seen birds as like a black shadow that fly in the sky, and you just go, oh, burung Jepun. But until when we go into the site and observe the birds, watch when the birds perch, you observe them, their colors, their behavior, what they sound like, and then we managed to spot an eagle. Like out of all places, I wasn't even in the forest or at the coastal area. I was in the city, and there's an eagle perching on the tree right in front of me. So that was amazing. It's the joy of discovery was there. And also I learned like how to sharpen my observation skill. Like your eyes become very tajam, So we get to observe all the tiniest little creatures, the beetles, the spiders. And also learning how to differentiate and identify them. So what I like most about Rimba Project is that how the team is always giving space, giving opportunities for students. I'm talking like back when I was like a student lah. Giving opportunities to students to take part in a project, to even lead a project. So when I was like in my third year, that time Fit was the one in charge, I think, if I'm not mistaken lah. Said to her, I teringin nak buat theatre. I have no experience in theatre. I did my bachelor degree in ecology and biodiversity, and I said like, I teringin nak buat theatre, and to rent a space in a theatre hall is very expensive. And I'm a Malaysian. I want free stuff. So Rimba Ilmu space, it was free, I guess. So when we proposed an approach to Dr. Sugu, and Dr. Sugu is always very welcoming with when we ran all these projects, he said yes, sure, do it. And I was like, oh, wow, can do. Yeah. So back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, we did Rimba Theatre called Creatures, and that kind of became an inspiration for me to continue my master's in drama now. So yes, I'm doing my master's in performing arts right now. Yeah. So it's a very how to say all these opportunities given to lead a group. In my second year when we did the biodiversity survey, Ben appointed me to be like the fauna team leader. We had a flora team and a fauna team. And I was there feeling like out of all people, all other people with probably better skills than me. Like you trust me, a freshman, to lead a group, to communicate between the group members and the management team. So it was like a wow moment lah. So things I never knew I could do, I did. Leading a project, managing a project. So yeah, I guess that's all, and also all the fun makan session we had. So many all the numerous opportunities to participate, and loads of banana leaves we had. And up until now, I'm still gaining and learning more skills. So back then, I was a volunteer. I was managed by someone giving me the instructions or telling me what to do, where to meet. But then now I'm the person managing volunteers. So I get to see now the behind the scenes of all the works that's happening. And it's a new experience, and it's a new and useful experience. So that's all I have to say for my part. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Shu. Maybe Karen, want to start? Say something?
Hello.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Yes. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kyron, and I was the second student volunteer that became the project officer for Rimba Project. So, I was the project officer for Rimba Project from 2018 to 2019, and prior to that, just like Shuhada, I was volunteering with the Rimba Project since I was a first year. So back then, one of the seniors, which is classmates of Shuhada and also Sofwan, who are here, she brought me into the Rimba Project, and after that, I was introduced to Ben, Petra, Vanessa, and Terry, and they are all amazing seniors that gave us a lot of insights on what my course would be, because they are seniors of my course, which is the ecology and biodiversity. And Dr. Sugu, being my lecturer, is also very helpful in terms of like giving us more knowledge on out of the classroom, because he is supposed to be a lecturer, but which I will be meeting during my second year. But I actually met him during my first year, and starting from there, I learned all my knowledge, most of my knowledge about plants from him. And a lot of the things that we experienced there wasn't really taught in the classroom, because back then, like Shuhada said, we had the biodiversity week, we had a lot of tree taggings, we have a lot of biodiversity surveys around the campus, and those brush up all our field skills that we as a first year are not able to experience. So they do this a lot of skills training. Like back then, Benjamin was during my first year, she was conducting a photography workshop. So I remember Shu and I was inside. So we got our skills from Ben, who was very experienced at that time. So you can see from this photo, both of us has a DSLR, because definitely from the Rimba Project, the influence of the Rimba Project has built us up as a very good photographer. So we can at least use our skills to share the beautiful image or beautiful nature to the people around us. Because in our project, like our purpose, our objective is to educate the public. We reach out to the public. We do a lot of community engagement, like what Dr. Su said earlier. We did a lot of tours. We did a lot of workshops. So these are all very important things to communicate the science that are from the university to the public, because we don't want to just do research in the university. We want to bring this knowledge that we have to the public and let them know what they can do to help the conservation, and let the younger generations know how they can be part of conservation. And like Shuhada said earlier, there are a lot of things that we learn as a volunteer and also as a project officer, from being part of a project to leading a project. And then after that, we grew out of it. Right now, like what Shada said, she tried to she experienced the change of her field from the science, the arts. But for me, I continue on with the science, but more on education because of what Rimba have taught us. What Rimba have taught me. Like, for example, back then I was doing guided walk even when I was a student. So right now I'm also doing part of that. Like I'm working as a nature guide in the Club Metro, I think. So this is what Rimba Project has trained me to become. And this is really, 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 really good for any of the volunteers, because whether or not you are from the science background or you are from the arts background, there will be something for you inside, because nature is not only for the scientists, nature is for all of us. Yeah. I guess that's all for me. Thank you very much. And I would love to take this opportunity to thank all of my seniors, Dr. Sugu, Dr. Zida was here, and all the teams, and Shuhada as well, Benjamin, Terry. Yeah, I think they're all here. So thank you for all of your help when I was the project officer. I hope you are well, and maybe we'll pass to Fitra right now.
Maybe we can get Ben to say some things now. So since I'm not sure Fitra is back.
Sure. Hi everyone, Ben here. Fit, are you in the call? If you're in, if you'd like to say a few more words. Going once.
I think you can go ahead, Ben.
No, you finish first. You were gonna say some things and then the internet took you away.
I don't know where did I stop. It always happens, whenever you want to say something and then the internet just decided to sabotage you, and your coup didn't happen somehow. So I think I stopped at working with the Jabatan, the asset management in the University of Malaya. So when I started working with the Rimba Project, I think there are a lot of things that I thought I wouldn't be doing, but it was quite a surprise for me when we started working with the development office. I learned how to write a bill of quantity to actually help with the refurbishment of the bus, the old bus in the University of Malaya, and also at the same time, we help with the refurbishment of the conservatory in the university. And along the way, we also did a few projects in Section 12, where we were able to actually save a lot of trees when the asset management and the development office decided to actually build a car park in the area to replace the bungalows. And I think this is something that we could actually learn, and the university could actually learn that when there is a way for us to actually save nature, to actually save trees, to save biodiversity, there will be a way for us to actually work around it and build with nature. And would also like to say that one of the, I think, successful memory of the Rimba Project is to actually see our volunteers taking over, becoming the project officers of the Rimba Project. And I think along the way, if you are still a student in the University of Malaya, get to know people around you. Try to find mentors around you that you could actually learn from them, and don't think your ideas are small. You can actually try to be in touch with the top management, because I think one of the things that I appreciate when I was a student in UM, and also after that I became the project officer of the Rimba Project, was to have a higher management, the top management, that is very supportive of the idea that we want to bring. So even though you think that it is just it is just an experiment, even though you think that it won't work, but you just need to try to convince other people to be on board with you. And experiment can just be something that we will learn along the way, and we will be able to see whether it works or not. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Fit. Let me turn on. So I'm not so used to seeing to Google Meet, and I can't really see myself. But if it's working right, my camera should be turned on, and you should be able to see me. Okay, I can see myself in the small icon there. Thank you. I think thanks to everyone, to Sasai, to Dr. Sugu for having me on this call. It's been a while. I think I officially left in 2018. I can't remember now. But a lot of this brings back memories, and it has been a great journey through the last 6 or 7 years since all of this started. I don't really have that much more to add to what has already been said, but I just want to take a moment, going through some of the faces and the people that I see. I mean, I don't really see faces, but I see names who are here with us today. And in no particular order, just a shout out to some of our supporters who have been with us from the beginning. Of course, Water Warriors, we've mentioned you a few times in this call. Even before the Rimba Project started, you've always been very strong support and friends and fellow travelers in this journey. To some of our friends and partners from outside of and please forgive me if I miss you out. I'm just trying to look at the list here. I see Joshua is here all the way from Utah, and you've always been with us all these years. I want to just acknowledge you for that and for that support. Sheila, you're here on the call with us, and I don't think anyone may know or remember this, but now that we're putting things on record, Sheila from the Star actually wrote our very first newspaper story back in 2015, and kind of gave us a voice, put us on the cover of Star Metro, I think, on that year, documenting our first biodiversity survey. And I think all of these little things just help to help to build up the work that we were doing, especially in the public eye. Yeah, I see your comment there. How time flies, huh? And I myself have become a father in the last couple of years. So, yeah, we've all kind of grown with it. And of course, to all the colleagues in I see names I know well. Prof. Sumiani, of course. The Prof. Siti, I'm not sure if you're still here in the call. Fazli, Irene, and everyone everyone in the Sustainability Science Cluster. I don't know if it's still called the Sustainability Science Cluster now. And to our volunteers, Sofwan, you still have Charles Darwin as your profile photo after all these years.
Wallace.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Wallace. How could I be so remiss? Yes, you're a Wallace supporter, not a Darwinian. And I think this just underscores the fact that in so many ways the Rimba Project has been an evolving community. People have come in, people have gone out, and I think it's really the collective. All that you see in this presentation and all that Dr. Sugu and colleagues have shared, tells a story of a community that has evolved and grown over the years. And I think many have already made the point that one of the highlights has really been the volunteers and seeing student volunteers come in and grow. And I want to take this moment just to maybe bring us back to 2013, 2014, at the beginning of all of this, when the invitation came from UMCAS and Dr. Zida Fatima, who was then the director of UMCAS. It was really a blank slate kind of thing. She said, we want someone to raise awareness for biodiversity and raise awareness of Rimba Ilmu, the Botanic Garden. And then that was it. That was the brief. No other information to guide us, and it was up to us to decide and design how we would do it. So there have been ups and downs, and there have been experiments. If it made that point, a lot of things we tried, some things landed nowhere, some things landed somewhere, and then it grew from there. But one of the great challenges we faced in the very first year was really convincing people that volunteers mattered. I think there were some, borderline, fights and arguments, not internally, but externally. To convince a lot of people in the university that volunteers mattered and that going small was not a bad thing. I think the trend then, I don't know how it is now, is that, volunteer activities with a lot of people are usually very popular because they make great photo opportunities. We want like 200 people to come and things like that. And we had to convince a lot of people that having a small team of 10, 12 was the way we wanted to do it, because we wanted to have deep engagement. We wanted our volunteers to pick up and develop their skills and not just be, hi, bye, appear in a group photo and leave kind of volunteering. And over the years, I think, just seeing our volunteers grow and then to take over the project has to us been, a vindication of the approach that we took, I think. And, even until today, I think empowering and authorizing environments can be hard to come by in universities, in other parts, even in companies. So I guess, I want to say that it's important, especially if you are a supervisor or if you're someone in authority, to remember that, there is no person too young, no idea too small. And that ultimately, if you care for the mission, you need to create space to welcome the next generation, give them opportunities to explore, to grow, and to lead. So over the years, we had a lot of these examples, people like Usman, Jimmy, Yongshin, Kyron, Shu, Sofwan, and all of this started very much with the great Biodiversity Week and Section 12 team from 2014. So as the Rimba Project continues to grow in different ways and a slightly different direction, I think beyond this, and I see that Dr. Sarah is on this call. I've not met you in person, but I look forward to seeing how you will shape the next chapter in this journey. I only have one thing that I would like to put up there that we can all remember and take heed of, which is just to continue to give students and volunteers our trust, to take the risk, to defend them, and to be pleasantly surprised along the way. Thank you. Back to you, Dr. Subu, or to Fazli?
I guess now everybody can hear me. I'm not sure. You can take any questions, or if you can type any questions at the chat box, we'll be happy to address here.
Dr. Ivan, I have a question. May I know what's your planning on, what's your mission, your planning for the Rimba project in next few years, like next 3 or 4 years?
Hi. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question. Well, I have. We will just continue on what we do, as you see. All these things that I presented here. I'm just bringing up. Right. We can see these slides. So as I said, all these things have been put away in 3 different ways, such as nature awareness, data collection, direct conservation-related activities. So we will just soldier on. There's so much more things that we can be done. As you have heard the testimony, so to speak, from all the project personnel. We want to, if you hear the testimony of the students, you'll be surprised as well, because they have gained a lot of mileage, so to speak, and the things that they can't get from classroom. So we want to proceed on with that, right? Do more nature-related activities. You can do. You can call it seminars. You can call it workshops. All right. So as we perceive it, we want to move on and do more things. I think if you just take Rimba Ilmu, I think many people still do not know what is Rimba Ilmu and what are we. So there are still a lot more things to be done. So also, of course, after doing this for the last 6-7 years, now I have sort of like passed the baton on to Dr. Sarah, who's here this webinar, and of course I'm also in her team. So along the way we will discuss and sort of come up with activities that we can be done. Something similar, as you can see in this list, and probably you know, addressing all the goals in a better way. So so that's how I would generally address the question that you mentioned. Sorry, I didn't get your name. So anyway, thank you for that question.
Okay, thank you. All right. By the way, my name is Minh Kang, and I'm currently in the first semester in physics.
Sure. Be welcome to come and join us.
All right.
All right, Dr. Sugu, we have the questions from Ms. Sheila. Please explain on the National Heritage Site.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. So yes, Sheila. The National Heritage Site is granted to the Rimba Ilmu Botanic Garden of the University of Malaya. So it is a 60-hectare green area that is within the campus grounds. So we sort of like lobbied for this National Heritage Site because that green area holds to about 1,600 over species of plants, and many of these plants are native. So and as you know, the natural landscape in Malaysia and also around the world is very very quickly eroding. Yeah? It's quickly eroding. So I think many of these plants are quickly become either not extinct, I would say, but very quickly becoming endangered in that sense. So I think it's a heritage site. We were granted a heritage site partly because we have this huge plant collection on the grounds, and people were surprised to see such collections here in the middle of the city. And of course, this work has been done all over the years for the last 46 years. So these are all the effort of the many personnel of the Rimba Ilmu, of the Faculty of Science, and also University of Malaya in general. Yeah, I think many people have contributed to the national, and something that we are very, very proud of. Hope that explains to you. We can talk further later on if necessary.
So the next questions from Water Warriors.
Yeah, so yeah, Water Warriors, we too are in the not sure about this. We are in the process of I think in the management change. We don't really know exactly what the new caretaker would perceive this place, but I think they would support us in what we do all this while, and I don't see any reason of them not supporting us all this while. Maybe it is a good thing. Rimba Ilmu is coming under the Deputy Vice Chancellor's office. Yeah, thank you, Ben, for pointing that out. Yes, it is also one of the herbarium, which is situated in the garden itself, is also one of the primary factor. I should have pointed out that earlier. but I also think that the living collection is also one of the major contribution as well. So a herbarium is basically a dried collection of plants, is situated in the Rimba Ilmu building that has got, yes, about 74,000 over accessions, and it contributes directly to the science of conservation, or science that's related to conservation. So yes, that is also a huge factor in contributing to national heritage status. Thank you, Ben, for pointing that out.
Dr. Suga, I have one question.
Sure.
I would like to ask you whether you did mention about physical approach and the non-physical approach.
Yep.
Which one do you think, in your personal capacity as the project leaders of the Rimba projects, which one is the more important strategies in promoting campus green initiative, in particular the biodiversity conservation?
So as I said in my presentation, when we thought about running activities, we never really think about whether it's physical or non-physical approach. It's only that when we want to present this to the public, we divided that into a physical and non-physical way. So I think in both physical and non-physical approach is important to contribute to nature awareness. So, you know, the hands-on experience is very important. As you would see the testimony of, you heard the testimony of this personnel, yeah, all our personnel. They have all these things that they see, they perceive, they touch, you know, that has sort of like take them to the next stage. You know, they contributed to their future ideas and so on. So one is that physical. Once you get that physical approach, and then you can probably relate that to the non-physical approach. You will learn something that is in the classroom, or you know, from publications and so on. So both of it work hand in hand. So we need both. So I think we cannot live without, you know, both of it is important in that sense. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you, Doctor.
Sure.
Any questions from Prof. Siti?
Yes, Prof. Siti, I'm just reading it. Yes, Prof. Siti, we don't have that kind of data for the Rimba Ilmu itself. Maybe what I can say is that we know in the past, probably this is probably before my time as a personnel working in Rimba Ilmu. We know that certain parts of the Rimba Ilmu has been, you know, built on with roads and so on. So that is somewhat, I'm talking about the Bukit Arang and so on. Yeah. So at some point of time, that area was connected. So now it is disconnected. But we don't have any data for this kind of thing, you know, measurement data for this. There's no impact assessment done. There's something that we can pick up and do. Hi, Mr. Fong. Yeah, Fong. Yeah, thank you for your question. So yes, so your PhD research on urban heat island mitigation and climate resilience. What we did is we did a carbon assessment study on Rimba Ilmu itself, and that we have some data for that. We can probably share that with you at some point if necessary. So that's the only thing we have done. We have not done anything on climate resilience. We not calculate anything in that sense. Yes, Ben, you're free to go in and answer what you want. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Sugu. Now, Prof. Siti, I just wanted to just respond to that, your question about whether this has affected animals. And as Dr. Sugu said, there have no detailed impact assessments have been done. Also because in some ways, animal movement is something that can only be studied, I think, over the course of several years. But there is one thing that we did notice, and I think more research will have to be done. But I think earlier in the previous slide, Dr. Sugu talked about the UM Big Year that was organized, I believe it was 2015. One of our volunteers, a PhD student, led that project. It was more of a volunteer bird spotting project over the course of 1 year, 2015. What we did notice is when we compared it to published records of birds in 2004, done by Prof. Rosli Ramli of ISD, and also to a checklist published in a book. I can't remember the author now, but it was in 1993. So you can see it's like 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, right? So 93, 2004, and we did ours in 2015. It wasn't planned, but in retrospect, when we did it, we realized that actually some of these known published studies were about 10 years apart. We actually found that the species composition was different. The total number of species in each of those studies was around maybe about 100 plus species of birds, but some species had moved out apparently, and new ones had emerged. Again, it's not an exact science, so to speak, but I think we have some evidence from these surveys to suggest that at least the avifauna or the birds in UM or in Rimba Ilmu have kind of changed a bit over time. But also, I guess, when it comes to birds, the green corridor doesn't limit the movement so much because birds can fly. It's probably a more serious issue for, I've been told that there used to be wild boar and so on in UM back when there was connection to the Kiara Forest Complex and all that before the Sprint Highway and so on came along. But anyway, that's beyond what I do know, but I just wanted to share the comparison in species lists when it comes to birds over the course of 20 years. Thanks.
All right, any other questions from the floors? No? Okay, perhaps maybe Dr. Sugu would like to wrap up this webinar.
Yeah. Okay. Let me turn on the camera. Okay. I would just say, first of all, thank you again for being here. I mean, there are a lot of interesting things happening around us, I guess, at this very moment. And I appreciate all of you being present and listening to what we have done all these years. I will be happy to take any questions and so on. If you don't want to say yes, it's definitely fine. You can always approach us, and we will happy to share ideas or even share experience of what we did all these years. One thing it's a take-home message for me as well is the Rimba project has also helped me shape how I see and perceive people around me. All these years I've done classroom teachings and so on, but the Rimba project I've also did a lot of outdoor activities when I am in Rimba Ilmu. I've been in Rimba Ilmu. I've been in the university for the last 20 years, and from the day one I started working, I was placed there in Rimba Ilmu. So I've done a lot of groundwork and so on. But the Rimba project has opened my eyes in other ways. Yeah. So I've never looked at citizen science as a way to approach students or public in talking about nature awareness and so on. So so these all these personnel, all these research assistants, that's how we call them, have taught me that you know, in that sense, taught me that you can do citizen science in the way we did all these years. So for that, I would thank all these personnel, and also all those volunteers who came by. You know, they are. I definitely cannot name them. They are in the hundreds. I also don't want to pick out certain names and say them, because it'll be like pilih kasih, you know. So they all contributed in different degrees, different ways, and so on. So all of them are very well appreciated along the years. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and you know, thank you for everything that you have done for this project all these years. All right. With that, thank you very much for attending this webinar. Fadli, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sugumaran. We would like to welcome. We would like to welcome all of you to in thanking Dr. Sugumaran and the team of the Rimba Project for this insightful and wonderful sharing session on the Rimba Project. So, with that, on behalf of University of Malaya and the Secretariat, we would like to thank each and every one of you here for taking your time to attend our third series of this sustainability webinar series. I'm sure we have a lot more to organize soon in the future. We will keep you posted. Don't forget to follow our Facebook page and Instagram and Twitters and our YouTube channel. And this session will also be shared in our YouTube channel, so you can recap all the notes and so on. Yeah, so just a little bit of recap on what Dr. Sugumaran have shared with us. We have the importance of physical approach and the non-physical approach. Both have importance in promoting campus greening initiative. And then we have to care for the mission, and we have to give opportunities for the young ones to grow. And nature is for all of us, according to Karen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So and today is actually an International Day for Disaster Reduction. So we have to do something about it, and this is campus green initiative is part of it. Yeah. So have a great week ahead. Please remember, stay safe. And for those who will be working from home, stay safe. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Fazli.
Thank you. Don't forget to look out the window and try to enjoy nature.
Thank you.